beginners, stretch warm-up, kind of yoga. So something you can do early in the day or later in the evening, or if you're just on the go and you can't quite get in a full practice. So it's going to be a shorter session, and let's just have some fun.
Yes.
Come up to the top of your mat. Let's bring your feet so they're hip distance apart, and make sure you hide your heels behind your toes. So I see a lot of times when people are standing, they might have their toes splayed out. We want to have really nice posture. So bring your heels behind the toes, about hip distance apart. Okay, now relax your shoulders down and back. You're going to hear this over and over again in yoga because a lot of people are rounding forward. So bring the shoulders down and back and stretch your fingertips all the way down towards your floor. Fall into your breath and close your eyes. So that's what makes yoga different than most other exercises, is that it is a vinyasa movement, a moving meditation on the breath. So as you inhale, think about inhaling for a count of 6 and exhale for a count of 6. Reach your arms out and up overhead. Gaze up. Exhale, swan dive down towards the floor. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Feel the whole backside opening up. Shift your weight into your toes so that your hips come over your heels. Inhale, find your half lift. Bring your hands to your shins and lean the weight forward into the toes. Exhale, fold down to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Bring your shoulders over your wrists in your plank pose. Come up high on the tippy toes, and then exhale. Bend your elbows halfway. Uncurl your toes. Lift up, upward facing dog. So this is just the tops of your feet and your hands. Now if the up dog is difficult for you for any reason, you can always lower all the way down to your belly and then just lift your chest up off the floor. So you can float your hands to make sure you're using the strength of your spine as you lift your chest up off the ground. Exhale down to the floor. Curl the toes under, come up to all fours, push back, downward facing dog. Exhale. Pedal it out, 5 breaths. So you're creating the inverted letter V with your body. You could gaze between your feet. You should be able to fit your head in between your feet. Creating the number 11, and then gaze forward at your hands, making sure you also have that number 11. Now shake the head a couple of times, yes and no, just releasing any tension in the head, neck, and shoulders. Come up high on the toes, bend the knees, lift forward, walk to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold down to the floor. Inhale, root to rise, bring your arms all the way out and up overhead. Interlace all 10 fingers, bring your feet to touch, so your toes and heels touch. Release just the index finger, find a back bend. So lift your heart up, over and back, and push your hips forward as you gaze back at your fingertips. Exhale, hinge at the hips, and swan dive down towards the floor. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your left foot back, drop your left knee down on the floor, Anjaneyasana. And make sure your knee is over the ankle. Walk your hands up to the knee and push your heart up and back. So you can take your thumb under the left hip bone and roll your hip down towards the floor. So you can put your thumb right underneath the glute, in between the glute and the hamstring. Rolling it down to the ground. If you have it, the flexibility, you can interlace your fingers, release the index finger, and lift your arms all the way up, over and back, adding in a little baby back bend. Exhale, release your hands down to the floor, shift back, half splits. So lift your right toes up towards the sky. Pull the right hip back as you ground your right heel down into the ground. Inhale, find that nice long spine, and exhale, fold. Now the key with all your stretching is to make sure you send the breath to the place where you feel the sensation. Shift forward, curl the left toes under, lift the left knee off the mat as you plant your left hand down. Inhale, lift your right hand up towards the sky. Revolve side angle. So work on bringing your left ribs to the inner right thigh, finding the twist. Exhale, release the right hand down towards the floor, step back, plank pose. So inhale, plank, and because we're gonna make this beginner, we're gonna go all the way down to the floor. So come all the way down. If you wanna take that half push-up, go for it and do the up dog. Inhale, lift, baby cobra. So it's just the chest. Make sure you lift your hands up off the ground. Clear your chest down and lift just the hands up. Yes, you want to use the strength through the back. So you're strengthening all of those spinal muscles. Exhale down. Curl the toes under. Come up to all fours. Push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot to the top of the mat. Drop your right knee down onto the ground. You can walk your hands up to your knee. So you're working on bringing your hips forward and down and lifting your heart up and back. So sink the hips all the way down towards the floor so that we stretch through the psoas muscle. So this can be really tight on some people, especially if you're a strong back bender. Okay, if you have the flexibility, you can interlace your fingers, release just the index finger, and work on bringing your biceps behind the ears. So try to lift through the sternum versus the neck. You don't want to tip your chin all the way up to the sky, but lifting through your collarbone. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor, shift back, half splits. Lift the left toes up towards the sky. So inhale, half lift, press your left heel down, exhale, fold. Again, send the breath to the spot where you feel the sensation. My half splits and my hamstrings are always tight, so I always give a little extra attention to this area. And it doesn't matter how much I stretch on, they're still tight. Okay, shift forward, plant your right hand down, curl the right toes under, lift your right knee, lift your left hand up to the sky, revolve side angle. Again, bring your right ribs close to the inner left thigh, finding the twist. Exhale, release the left hand down, step back, plank pose. Inhale, plank, exhale. You can drop your knees down as you come down. So come all the way down to the belly. If you need to, drop the knees down. Otherwise, come all the way down to the belly. Uncurl the toes, lift just the chest up off the floor. Float the fingertips just a little bit. Exhale down, push back, downward facing dog. Come up high on the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, walk or jump to the top of the mat. Bring your feet to touch, and you can have your heels about an inch apart. Inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky. Cross just your thumbs. You're creating little prayer hands. Imagine you have a diary and you don't want anybody to read it. Exhale, bring your hands in the heart center. Take your left elbow to the outside of the right knee, finding a chair twist. Now, as you find your chair twist, press your left elbow into the right knee and bring your hands into the middle of the sternum. Try to resist the urge of letting them shift all the way into that right armpit. So shift them into the middle of the sternum, finding that twist. Maybe you gaze up towards the sky. So it's just an option. Inhale, release. Find your chair. So you're gonna stay with the bent knee, driving your booty back. Exhale, bring your hands in the heart center. Bring your right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Again, push your right elbow to the outside of that left knee and gaze up. Option to gaze up. Inhale back. Let's do the center. Find your chair pose. See if you can stay low. Let's see if we get powered up just a little bit. Drop your fingertips down to the floor. So see if your fingertips can brush the ground. Look forward as you drive your booty back, and then inhale, lift, find the chair pose. Stay low. Exhale, lower down. Brush your fingertips. We're just sweeping the ground. Inhale, lift it back up. Stay low again. Last one. Exhale, brush the ground, and then inhale, lift, chair pose. We could come all the way up to standing. Woo! Exhale. Hands can come into heart center, or you can just release them all the way down towards the floor. Okay. Inhale, arms out and up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down towards the floor. Let's just end with a stretch. Inhale, find your half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back. Let's just step straight back to a down dog. Lift your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, bring the right knee to the outside of the right wrist. Coming into pigeon pose. So I see often a lot of people are really tight in the hips, including myself. And it's usually people who are really good at squatting. It's called your deep six. It's the muscles like all in the glutes. So if you have a really tight butt, essentially that is going to make your hips tighter. So that's why we're stretching this area out. And if you could Work on making sure you don't roll over onto that right hip, but you're squaring the hips off towards the floor. Exhale, roll all the way down towards the ground. You could, release your hands to your wrists if you want. You also have the option of threading the left arm through over to the right side of the mat and resting your left ear on the mat. Slowly come on up, just because we're going to do the quickie, right? We'll slowly push our legs back, find your downward facing dog, get ready to switch sides. So inhale, lift the left leg high, exhale, bring the left knee to the left wrist, bring your shin to a 45-degree angle, and you want your left knee all the way onto the edge of the mat. Inhale, find the nice length through the spine, exhale, fold all the way down to the ground, making sure you square off your hips. If you want to do that extra option where you thread your right arm under, go ahead and do so. Take your left hand planted into the ground, lean onto the left hip, bring your right foot all the way to the top of the mat, and let's come into a nice Sukhasana, cross-legged pose. You put your hands down for grounding if you need to ground down into the earth, or up for receiving, and we'll end with a final Om. So exhale all the air out of the body. Sip in a deep inhale, fill the lungs full. Exhale, Om. Om. Thank you so much, yogis. If you guys like this video, please like, subscribe, click on that link down below. I have a free ebook for you guys on my link.
And then I have a free plant-based summer body starter kit.
Woohoo! All right, you guys, thank you for joining us. I'm again Amy Hager from Self Healing Inspiration, and
Yelina and Perez from Yali's Valley.
Woohoo!
Thank
guys.
you.
Peace out.
This is so awesome.